Hi everyone, Radu Andrusak from Flowtimize here, and in today's client interview, I'm sitting down with Marius Gheboianu, the co-founder of Aspen Experience. Aspen Experience is an international company dedicated to helping hospitality students and graduates secure J1 visa internships in luxury hotels across the USA. We started working together in 2023, and it's been a pleasure helping Marius and his team refine their value proposition, redefine their ideal client avatar, build a strong testimonial base, optimize workflows, and reshape the structure and the content of their website. Hi, Marius. How are you today?
Hi, Radu. I'm great. Thank you for having me today, and it's great catching up once again.
Sure. Let's start today with your story. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you are focusing right now with the Aspen Experience.
Okay, so I have a background in finance. I started off my career by working for two of the big four consulting firms. During one of those experiences, we had the pleasure of working together as colleagues as well. And in the meantime, I kept going to the United States with the summer work and travel program. Every single time I thought I'm doing one summer in the US and I'm done. And then again, I'm gonna do maybe one more summer and I'm done. And I ended up doing 5 work and travel programs. And this is how I got the idea and I started working on the Aspen Experience project from an idea turned into a project and then it turned into a company over the years. Right now, I'm overseeing the operations. I finally managed to get to a sweet spot where I don't do the daily operations anymore. I don't send the invoices and contracts and do accounting and all that. And I'm trying to focus on higher level tasks and running the team.
You've built such an incredible business with Aspen Experience and helped so many students and graduates. What inspired you to focus on this niche, like helping young professionals in the hospitality industry?
It's a good question. Honestly, I always knew I want to be an entrepreneur, but I never knew what I want to do. And then actually, when we started Aspen Experience, we started working on 3 business ideas at the same time. I was young and naive and figured if Elon Musk did it, why couldn't I? So I started with 2 other business ideas besides Aspen Experience, but Aspen Experience was the one that took off. What motivated me to start this was the experience that I had with the previous agency that sent me to the United States. And I was a recurring customer 5 times, and every single time the story was the same. They were nice and friendly, very responsive up until the moment where we pay the invoices. And once they collected the last payment from us, they were virtually not there anymore. We had issues, we needed help with the housing, with the employers that didn't treat us well, or we were in the United States by ourselves and we needed help. We would send emails to the agency, they would answer in 2 months. And we were there on a 3 months program. By the time they got to our request, our program was almost done. So I didn't like that. Every single time, one agency, I swear to God, we were probably their top clients, going back to them 5 times, and it was the same. And I started Aspen Experience from a desire to educate the industry and the market. I am a firm believer in the idea that money should be the consequence of things well done and not the purpose per se. And I wanted to show the industry that we can do things differently. We can put the customers first, we can be there for them, and we can genuinely, truly try to solve their problems like those problems are our own. And that's what motivated me to start Aspen Experience and this business approach, putting the customer first. I think it speaks about our success today.
Yes, because before we started working together, Aspen Experience was already a successful business. Could you share a bit about its structure? You've touched a bit on the value proposition, but what was the workflow, so to say?
Mm-hmm. So our value proposition is simple. We are trying to help people, young graduates and students at the beginning of their career to make that first step in their career, that most important and hardest most of the time step in their career. And we are connecting them. I like to think about ourselves of the connector between different players in the industry, between the visa providers, the employers, the schools, and so on. So we're trying to make everyone's life easy and connect the right people with the right circumstances. Regarding our structure, we started talking about this when I thought we are at a very advanced level, but it's funny looking back how rudimentary our processes were. We were working with a lot of spreadsheets. There were almost no automations. A little before we started working together, we were still scheduling consultation calls, sales calls by email manually. We used to answer to every single request on WhatsApp or by email manually. So I believe we were doing great for the volume that we had back then. But back when we started working together, I realized this is not sustainable for a very long time. So there was a huge need to do something and do it fast, to switch from doing things manually, to switch from being involved in every single aspect of the operations personally, to leveling a little bit the operations to a higher spot and trying to automate everything as much as possible.
Yeah, so the motivation and the context behind that was what?
But we were growing. And we realized that we cannot sustain the volume of work doing things manually for a very long time. And besides that, another very important aspect, we realized that we are not tapping the market enough. We realized that we focus on referrals and on people reaching out to us directly, but there was a huge segment of the market that we didn't touch. How about those that never heard about us? How about those that maybe heard about us, but they don't have a motivation enough to reach out to us and ask about our services? So that was a huge aspect of our business that we didn't really touch, and we decided to work on it and basically work on proactively work on increasing the sales.
Thanks, Marius. And before diving into the improvements we've made, we actually began with a full audit of your marketing and sales and delivery processes. How did that initial review shape our approach and helped us identify the areas we wanted to focus on?
It actually helped a lot because, first of all, we didn't have a clearly defined product. And I remember when I started working with you, and you asked me, "Easy, what is it that you do?" And I realized that I cannot explain this in very simple words. I was so focused on the daily operations that I thought it's clear for everyone. And working with someone from outside the organization made me understand that our product is not that clearly defined. So it helped us a lot put more clarity in what is it that we do, who is the ideal customer, and what does that customer want.
Sure. And because you touched on the ideal customer, we've done a lot of work around that. And I know you've involved also your team. And could you walk us a bit through this process and how was the experience for your team?
It was actually amazing. I remember you gave us these worksheets with all this set of questions regarding the industry, the niche, the ideal customer, and so on. And that was an amazing exercise for us. First of all, it made us think. It made us zoom out a little bit and think outside the box and try to put ourselves in our customers' shoes and understand their needs better. And that's how we together as a team, we came up with a lot of clarity regarding our customer. What are their needs? What are their pain points? And how could we solve those? And besides all that, besides getting clarity regarding the operations and the industry, it was amazing working with a team like that. Rather than coming with one answer, we decided to split those, to actually share those worksheets with everyone in the team. And I asked everyone to come up with their own answers because I realized, okay, I have my subjective approach, right? I have my opinion, and your personal opinion is always subjective. And to get as a more comprehensive answer to that, we decided to ask everyone in the team to answer those questions. And then we put the answers together, and we redefined a more inclusive answer using artificial intelligence. Actually, we're using Chat GPT. So it was a great exercise. I believe the results were remarkable, and it also gave us the pleasure of, as a team, getting that feeling that we work together and we've accomplished something visible together.
Yes, I remember how excited was everyone with their own answers, and the amazement when they read the other answers and to see how they differ from one team member to another one.
Exactly. We realized that although like the main point was the same among the team members, there were different aspects that one colleague got and the other didn't. So it was great to work together as a team and kind of see this from different angles.
Yes, and I remember you shared one little insight that you also used that material that we worked on with some other suppliers, and as a starting point for discussion, what can you share that story, please?
I'm sorry, you mentioned we shared that with whom?
With the PR firm, you told me.
Yeah. So we realized at some point that our marketing knowledge, if we're honest, is limited. So we decided to ask the opinion of an expert. And like any marketing firm, I suppose, out there, they're gonna work with you and try to guide you through understanding your own niche and in your own customer, and try to figure out what is it that your customer wants. And this marketing firm was surprised to see that we had all this done already. Not only we had a very clear answer about it, but we had it documented in such an easy way for them to understand. The feedback from their side was amazing. They told us that they usually spend the first couple of months working with the customer to try to
To just
get this
understand.
answer exactly. And we shared those worksheets, and they were like, oh, we have everything we need. I think we can start creating content already. So it really,
Yeah.
really helped. And another area where it helped a lot, we redefined our website completely. And all those answers from the worksheets that we came together, we realized we can put those together, and the website is so much more clear now. It really walks you through the pages like a story, and it really tells you what is it that we're doing. And on top of that, we used all that material to, I'm sorry if I if I jump
No,
ahead
no,
and
go ahead.
cover some of your
Go
future
ahead.
questions.
Go ahead.
We
Go
use
ahead.
that content to create social media content as well. It was so easy. We realized we have so much text written content that we can use one idea to create a small podcast, or we can use another idea to create even AI generated video materials, and so on. And it really helped a lot.
Yeah, it was quite impressive how you managed to put together all that content, and of course I wanted to get to that. Let's talk about it now. We worked also on creating a testimonial base, and you've moved really quickly with that because you had all the foundation ready. And I remember that the first videos were made by you, and then you also shared that task with your team. How did that go for you and your team?
It felt so uncomfortable at the beginning. I must admit, it was the first time I recorded something on camera. I'm not proud of the content, but the engagement is there, and I realized it doesn't really matter. No one
Yeah,
is
because you're a perfectionist and you want it to be perfect,
exactly,
but when in fact people appreciate the value that you bring, even without.
exactly. And it made me realize people appreciate the content. People appreciate the message. Okay, so it doesn't really matter how good you are in front of a mic or a camera. The idea is talking to people and getting them to share their own experiences. I've done a few of them. We posted them on our website and on our YouTube channel. I've done a few of them, and I had a pleasant surprise to see that. So I interviewed former customers. We call them participants. I interviewed them and I asked about their experience, and that's when I realized the brightness on their face, the smile on their face, and when they were recalling, when they were looking up into the right side, trying to think, to recall memories, and the smile, the instant smile on their face when they will realize, oh yes, it was amazing, and now I'm a supervisor. Oh yes, it was amazing. I had so many I have so many different friends from so many countries. Oh, I remember some of them share that they found their love during this program. Some of them even got married during this program. And it was amazing to see the amazing experience your customers have. Then I asked my team to do that, to take over it, and my team shared the exact same message that they love this task. It's great to talk to happy customers.
Yes, and it also helps a lot the future customers to better understand what you're standing for and
It really
how that
does.
can change their lives.
It really does.
And how did having templates, for example, for videos, for interviews, for creating your value proposition, because we've also worked on that and mapping out the main pillars of your value proposition. What was the process there, and how did you find it?
It definitely came in handy. I always knew that user generated content is the highest form of content today in social media, but I never knew where to start. I would draft a couple of questions on a piece of paper, and something told me that it doesn't make sense. I would jump to, for example, how did the internship in the United States change you? And now, going through the templates that you helped us create, I realized that you're not revealing the aha moment at the beginning. You build your story and you reveal that aha moment at the end, and you're trying to get that from your customer's mouth, right? You're trying to get them to express that genuinely with their own words. Now, if you walk your interviewee through certain steps and you build up momentum, it shows so much more. It's not that you're trying to fake it or anything like that, but you're trying to build the story in a way that makes sense. Imagine you watch a good movie, an amazing one, and you just see the end of it, or you just see the most important story at the end. It's not that great, is it? You want to walk through that story first. And that's what we managed to do, having those templates that we got from you in hand. It definitely helped.
Thanks, Marius. So let's reveal a bit on the ending of this story. Let's talk about results. Where was Aspen Experience in terms of revenue before, and where are you now after all the improvements that we've made?
I can tell you, since we last spoke, we did 3x in revenue. This year's it really took off. we always thought we're doing good, and luckily we saw sale increase every year since we started. But after we put some time on actively looking for customers, not only addressing those customers that come to us, it really took off to another level. To give you an example, when we met, we were processing probably 15, 20 candidates a month. Now we're up to 60, 80 candidates a month. Okay, that's a volume of work that is much higher. We were a team of 4, and that was what, February 2023, June 2023, around a year something ago. We were a team of 4. Now we're a team of 10, and we're recruiting.
So
And in
you
terms
grew
of
your team from 4 to 10.
yes, and we're looking to recruit more.
Yeah, maybe you can mention what you're looking for. Maybe someone is interested in in applying, but we'll get to that and how to reach you. Looking back, what would you say that was the most impactful part of our work together?
Uh, Untapping the marketing opportunities, which we left almost untouched before that, and automation. We didn't talk much about it, but you helped us a lot with automating our processes and getting our website to sell, which before didn't really. We didn't even have an action button on our website. Our website was just a brochure, if you want, with messy and clear information. Now people schedule and start the process and schedule their consultation call directly through the website. So it eliminates a lot of the manual work. And the most impactful thing is it gave us the time back. You know, you're too busy doing things by hand, and that's why you don't have time to improve things, because you're there in the daily operations, and you always know that, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that, but you never do because you're too busy doing those time consuming tasks, which today, it's, if you take the time, it's so easy to do. So after implementing these things together, we got our time back, and that time we used it on higher level tasks. We're using that time now to actively build new partnerships with schools and with employers and visa sponsors out there. We are using that time to talk more with our customers rather than sending emails and updating spreadsheets. You know, we're using that time to build more connection and more meaningful relationships with our customers. And people talk more about us. People talk more about us. Another thing that changed dramatically this year, although the sales are triple, people don't question us anymore. It used to be, how do I know that you're legit? You know, then you have hundreds of 5 stars reviews.
I remember this objection. Yeah.
They don't ask us this. As a matter of fact, and it's funny, we even receive payments before we issue invoices. I swear to God, this is happening sometimes. There are people that are paying the initial down payment fee, and we receive payments in the bank account, and we're looking in our database and we're trying to figure out who is this person. And then we see that they just booked a consultation call and they paid
This is a
payment
good
already.
problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. So
And
yeah,
you told you've got your time back, and how has that influenced your life beyond the Aspen experience?
well, that's a question that my wife can happily answer because I do have a little bit more time. And by a little bit, I mean a lot more time. I use half some of it to spend more time with my family, to spend more time with my wife, and to walk a little bit more and do some thinking outside in the nature, in the park, play with my dog, and all that thing that truly matters. And another part of the time, I use it on things that I truly enjoy, which is connecting with people, connecting with partners, doing more one-on-one with the teams, trying to plan travel for team buildings and stuff like that.
Nice. So for anyone who's pondering whether to work or not with Flowtimize, what would be your advice to them?
Hey, so I'm not gonna sell them the perfect golden solution. My advice is give it a try. Give it a try. You have nothing to lose. Definitely, you need to do your homework, right? Because if they start the process like with any other consultant, the consultant is not gonna do the work for you. Well, maybe part of it. I must have a lot of the work for us, but that shouldn't be the get-go expectation. The consultant is gonna guide you, right? Is gonna tell you what they believe, being an expert, right, at what they do, what they believe you should focus on. But you need to be ready to do the homework and put the work and truly do the thinking and truly put yourself in your customer's shoes and try to identify what's their pain point and so on, and how can you improve that, how can you go ahead of the process and present an offer. Most of the times the customers, they don't know what they want. Steve Jobs was very, very good at identifying that. He always said the customer doesn't know what they want. We know better than them. We're gonna launch a product and sell it to them, and then we're gonna test if they want it or not, and if we are right or wrong. So it's really important to do the homework, the thinking, to build an actual roadmap, to take the time to think about it, not just improvise, and then test it out. Regarding working with Flowtimize, my advice is give it a try. Your expectations might just be exceeded. I know
Thanks,
mine were.
Marius. Thank you. And yes, indeed, there is no magic pill that you take a consultant and everything is solved. You have to put in the work, and that part you did really well with your team. And finally, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to connect with you and learn more about what you and your team does?
Thank you for asking, Radu. All our contact information is visible online. They can simply Google Aspen Experience and they'll find all of the website, our social media pages, and our WhatsApp numbers. They can reach out to us by email at hello@aspenexperience.com or on any of our social media platforms. And we're here to guide them through the process and help them out.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Keep up the amazing work, and I'm looking forward to see what's ahead for you and Aspen Experience.
Thank you,
Talk
Radu.
soon.
Thank you for having me, and let's catch up soon.